This class might be different because it's like, I want you guys to be like, you gotta be a little crazy. You gotta have to kind of let go and not worry about people wondering, like judging you or being like, what the fuck is he doing? The main thing is the mentality and the technique together. So what you have to do is just commit to the character, and then we start putting technique into it. For instance, we're gonna start with robot. You're gonna just freestyle robot however you think a robot would move. If anything, a robot might start going to the mirror and trying to interact with itself. Like, you're moving one thing at a time. Just think of one point. So right now I'm thinking of my shoulder. And what we want to do is we don't want to bounce, we don't want to vibrate at the end yet. All we want is to stop. So it seems really simple, but we start having to do this with all of our body parts. So we can think of any combination we want to do. We can build it, we can speed it up. Mad slow. You're constantly changing your dimension of where we're going. You're stepping forward, pivoting, changing. You want to be free. Start playing with it, but the main thing is to take your time and go really slow. And just sit there and think about small isolations. The way it started was in these old movies, before they had CGI, they had little clay-like figures called claymation. When they would do the claymation characters, they would move one piece at a time. It would just be like legs, then the thing would come alive. Then the hands would stop and just the head would move. And look, and then the hand would, that would stay and the hand would reach for the sword and pull it out. Then everything would animate. Because the animators didn't want to sit there and move each body part every single second. They were just moving the parts that were needed to move. And what happens is it created a different feel that our brain and our eye recognized was, yo, that's off. That looks weird. When you imitate it with your body, it looks really weird. At the time, this is when people were street dancing. So it's like the equivalent of us going and watching The Matrix or the new Spider-Man or whatever, and taking some movement that looked cool and turning it into a dance. That's all these guys were doing. They were just creators of their time. And the technique, you then create a character in your mind and you make that character come to life, or you can go into the Sinbadian idea of everything's going and everything moved like that the whole time. It was just the robot comes into play because, like I said, you're isolating. So think of, even as you're moving with this character or vibe and technique, you might stop. And this is where it becomes illusional. So you're dying, stopping, and stopping. The whole purpose is not only to bring the character to life, but to look unreal. So like a mummy coming to life that's unreal, we would never see that. And if we did, it would probably look crazy. And that's what we're trying to do. What Dre taught me to do was he said, what's your favorite old monster character? I like the Medusa from Clash of the Titans. And he's like, oh, that's dope. I've never seen anyone do that one. He's like, well, how does the Medusa move? I said, well, she's like a snake, so she's kind of moving, and she's got this bow and arrow. She's like, and she's trying to like hit the dude with it. And he's like, what else? I mean, you got to develop these characters. I said, the rattle, the snake. He's like, bingo, there you go. Now that's cool. And so I started animating my hand like this, like doing the Sinbad thing, but like there's a rattle, like started moving like this. And he's like, no one has to know that you're doing the Medusa. It's just something in your head that's keeping you committed to a character and a vibe. So you're trying to accent the music, look unreal, create a character.